And on to politics, the Edo State House of Assembly has urged the State High Court to affirm the suspension of the chairman of the 18 local government areas of the state. In a suit filed on January 28th of 2025, the House seeks a declaration that by virtue of the provisions of Section 20B of the Local Government Law 2000 Edo State, the first claimant, Edo State House of Assembly, has the power to suspend a chairman and or vice chairman of a local government council in Edo State. The House had on December 17th, 2024, suspended all the local government chairmen and their deputies for what it described as insubordination to Governor Monday Okpebholo. And now to help us make sense of this, we're joined by legal practitioner Elvis Asia. Elvis, thanks for joining us. I have to start by asking, what constitutional or statutory powers does the Edo Assembly have to suspend elected local government chairmen, and how are these powers interpreted in this context? I mean, for insubordination?
Well, I think much has been said about the fact that the action of the Edo State House of Assembly was clearly unconstitutional. It has no place within the context of Section 7 and 8 of the 1999 Constitution, and in particular, the Supreme Court interpretation of those provisions in July of 2024. And the High Court in Edo State also made such a declaration that the step taken by the Edo State House of Assembly in conjunction with the governor has no place in our law. Interestingly, the Attorney General, who is a member, so to say, of the All Progressive Congress, the APC-led federal government, also came up to say that within the context of the law as it exists today, no House of Assembly or governor has the power to do what they did in Edo State. And so that's clearly, I mean, there are a lot of judicial decisions on this point. The Constitution is very clear on this point, and in the light of the decision of the Supreme Court, going back now to seek some interpretation of a local government law, which has been, by virtue of that section of the decision of the Supreme Court, has been declared to be inconsistent with the Constitution. So I really don't understand what this is driving at. But what is clear is that the action of the Edo State House of Assembly has no place within the fundamentals of our Constitution.
And it doesn't also align with the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution regarding local government autonomy, right?
It does not, because you see, I think the mistake that they are making, and I think a lot of people are also making that mistake, is that because Section 7 and 8 suggest that the states, House of Assembly will make a law to ensure the existence, the structure, the functions, of a local government, then that gives a state House of Assembly powers to do whatever it is they have done. But that is clearly not the case. What that section is simply saying is that you can make a law to define, to ensure there's a democratically elected system of local government across the country. That's what the law is saying. And once that is set in motion, you do not have the powers to begin to determine what happens to the local government. Democracy means that the council itself is answerable to the people, and by that, the people elect councillors, in our local government system, and that's what the Constitution is saying, and that's what the law. There's a limit on what the House of Assembly can do within the provisions of the Constitution. And it does not extend to granting powers to the governor or the House of Assembly to suspend, to remove, to do whatever. Because at the end of the day, if you say that the House of Assembly cannot suspend, what you have done is that you have defeated the whole essence of the Supreme Court decision, which is really the current position of the law on this matter.
And at this point, I have to ask, how does the judiciary play in all of this in just determining the legality of such suspension, whether or not they're going to step in? Or better yet, can the 18 suspended local government chairmen and their deputies challenge this ruling, this move, this suspension in court?
Well, my understanding is that, there was a challenge, but the suspended well, I mean, it was an attempt made to suspend. That suspension was ineffective. And the fact that it's ineffective clearly shows by this current action of the Edo State House of Assembly to seek to approach the court for an interpretation of their powers under the local government law. So by approaching the court to do so, they recognize, they acknowledge that there is something wrong with what they have done. And also, in view of the existing court process with respect to this matter, one would have thought that they could have applied to join that action rather than filing another action. And there's a possibility of an abuse that might arise from this step. And then you also look at the fact that there was an attempt made to remove some of the local government chairman. All of these point to the fact that they also recognize that political action they took has no place in the law. It is hoped that the judiciary will step in to correct this anomaly, because one of the things we see with politicians is that they try to do forum shopping, look for judges that can make decisions that will not create confusion, like we're having in Rivers State and in many places across the country. And they try to design a case within a very narrow compass, so that the court or the judge is limited, and in the process you now give a decision that is conflicting with the current existing legal understanding on a particular issue. I want to believe that that is what is at play here. But I want to believe that considering that the Supreme Court has made a final determination on this issue, no high court judge or any court that is inferior to the Supreme Court should be able to do something different.
Well, Elvis, we must say thank you for taking out the time to join us today. Elvis Asia, the legal practitioner, just giving us a bit of insight following the suspension of the 18 local government chairmen of Edo State and their deputies.